Hello, my name is Mike Nelson, and I'm the head men's and women's cross-country coach at Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is my final presentation for Contemporary Leadership Theory, LEDR 6051 with Dr. Caulfield. Today, I'd like to discuss something that's very important in my world, and it is the challenge of coaching the millennial athlete. Howe and Strauss define the millennial group as consisting of individuals born between 1982 and 2004. So I just missed the cutoff because I was born in 1981. Before I begin, I think it's important that coaches make sure not to overemphasize stereotypes associated with this generation or make too broad of generalizations. According to whatis.com, there are approximately 76 million millennials in the United States right now. They all do not fit conveniently into one personality category. Instead of being frustrated or bewildered by the behavior of millennials, coaches should use forward thinking to build strategies for positive interactions. In the postmodern world of social leadership, it is suggested that everyone within a group can be a leader. Openness as a coach is vital, and this means using information without bias or restraint, and allowing individuals, your team members, to make decisions at their own discretion in conjunction with others. So let's get into the challenges of coaching millennials. The first challenge, they've never failed. Because of changes in parenting styles, coaching styles, teaching styles, and even administrative styles, student athletes have never been allowed to fail. Because of so-called helicopter parents, many millennials have felt very few bumps as they've navigated the highways of their life. Millennials on average have very little experience dealing with adversity or confrontation. So when adversity does strike, and it most assuredly will strike, they have a very difficult time understanding how to move forward. I have dealt with several student athletes here at Marquette that have never received a B on a test, and they don't know how to handle it. Or they've never not made the team, or they've never not been the best person on the team, or they've never experienced an injury, and a multitude of situations just like that. The key takeaway is that because society around them has changed, many millennials have never experienced failure, and although we want to protect them from disappointment, this is not the best strategy for their long-term development. The second challenge of coaching millennials is them being overscheduled. A coach has to realize that most millennials are overscheduled. There are dozens of things that compete for millennials' time and attention. Many of them have been overscheduled since a very young age. It is not uncommon for my student athletes at Marquette to be booked solid from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And when they tell me this, I think they're over-exaggerating. I don't believe them. But then they'll actually show me their schedule. And sure enough, their schedule is completely booked. Practice, class, labs, tutoring sessions, service learning, undergrad research projects, homework, group work, clubs, studying for the MCAT, grad school applications. These are just some of the things that they're involved in. They have so much on their plates that it's overwhelming for me just to think about sometimes. Coaches have to be cognizant of the time constraints and the pressures that their student athletes are under. As my athletes like to say, Coach, the struggle is real. And I have to say that I agree with that sentiment. So, the third challenge of coaching millennials is treating team members fairly. Coaches need to be aware that their actions are internalized by everyone on the team. Some of the current literature suggests that over the past few years, this me generation has actually turned into the we generation. There is an overinflated sense of empathy for their peers. How a coach treats one athlete on the team directly affects how another athlete on the team will feel about their place on that team. Athletes don't like it if they feel like one of their teammates is being picked on or is taking more than their fair share of the blame or punishment. Again, I see this in the recruiting process all the time. If a recruit doesn't immediately bond and connect with the current athletes on the team, there's almost no way that you're going to get that recruit. The bonds and the friendships are the second most important factor in the recruiting process behind scholarship money. Just about every recruit that walks in my door will ask about team chemistry and do the athletes on the team get along well, because that is vital to them and that is vital to the millennial generation. So as a coach, what I would say is one of the things to keep in mind is you do not want to talk negatively about an athlete behind another athlete's back.